On the Morning Brew with Friends, it's a treat. We got Mike Powdrell in with us. Morning.
Good morning.
And I know that some of the Powdrells went to my alma mater out pretty high. But you?
I was a Hornet. I went to Highland.
Jeez. Okay, interview's over. Right there. We're done.
Gosh.
We're done.
Does it go that deep?
It does, absolutely.
Okay.
Now, this is the big Albuquerque rival, Albuquerque High and Highland. So how did you guys survive in one house with seven Bulldogs and 4 Hornets?
Well, actually, they weren't there all at the same time.
Okay.
So that helped.
That does help.
But you know what? We all had each other's back.
Of course.
And we all had. Mom actually was the dictator, and she says this is how things go, and this is how things went.
So she was the dictator,
Yeah.
and then it was your dad who was the chef.
Dad was the chef, but actually, Mom ran the business.
Okay.
And then I had a brother, Willie. Willie was actually the chef, and we took those 3 elements, and he was kind of the entrepreneur to get us into business.
And the family has been in the barbecue business now for how long?
1962.
Wow.
Okay, and then we had a difficulty, closed down, and actually the workforce was the family. Okay, and we had to wait until we grew
All
up a little
11
bit.
of you?
All 11 of us.
Wow.
I mean, for 3 years, it was work-free. But then in 1969, we actually reopened again, and then we've been open ever since.
Right. In your restaurant, your Powdrell's Barbecue restaurant, there's a couple of them around town, but the one you actually operate is on East Central.
East Central location, yeah.
And how is business there?
You know, business is fantastic. We have a great following. We have a blessed business. God has really blessed our business. Again, there was a scenario where there was a restaurant makeover, and we were byproducts of
Our
that.
network helped out with that. It was fun.
Gosh, that was.
And Stacia was there for that.
Stacia was there, I guess, and John was there.
Right.
You know what? They really blessed the business, and you kind of a divineness about it. You know,
That's good to hear.
God was really working with us.
That's very good to hear. Well, I've always been curious about the Powdrell barbecue recipe because you hear about Texas barbecue and you hear about Louisiana barbecue. You guys, I've always just called you New Mexico barbecue. Because, like, where is the deal with the sauce?
Well, the barbecue sauce, and you hit on 2 elements there. You hit on Louisiana and you hit on Texas, because Daddy was born in a small town called Nacogdoches, which is borderline Louisiana. And then he grew up in East Texas, and then we moved into West Texas, and then we moved into New Mexico.
So you just started collecting barbecue sauce elements all the way over?
Exactly. You know. And actually, Dad was the taster. He developed all the changes, developed the barbecue sauce into a flavor that New Mexicans like. So here we are.
Right. It's like there's something about it that's it's spicy like a green chili or something.
Yes.
But it's not sweet.
Yes.
Because Louisiana barbecue has that tangy thing.
Correct.
I'm not a fan of that. And I think that's probably because I grew up eating your barbecue. But
yeah, and we're a byproduct of all of that. We're the spicy, we're the tangy, and then we have the sweet. And it actually has a variable of using it for so many different ways. You know, you can use it for barbecue. You can use it as a steak sauce. We've had even people pour it over eggs, scrambled eggs, sloppy joes. So
mashed potatoes.
Mashed potatoes.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
So how long does it take? I know I'm a big fan of the turkey legs you guys sometimes do.
Correct.
I know that you don't do them year round.
Correct. They're seasonal.
Right. But how long does it take? And where do you even find, what are these, dinosaur turkeys? The legs are like this big.
Yes, and that's a good sales point because they are that big. The distributors basically, and they're coming out of Texas, and Texas again is
they just grow the biggest turkeys in the world.
The biggest turkeys in the world, and we.
You sure they're not ostriches?
They could be.
Okay.
But we ain't gonna tell. As long as you're eating them and enjoying them, we're not gonna tell. Yeah.
Because they're giant turkey legs, and
oh man,
they're great.
They are fantastic. Again, that was one of the things that my dad brought into our business, and we started out with the state fair almost 30 years ago.
That's right.
We were probably one of the first groups that was doing turkey legs.
Right. Are you guys going back to the state fair anytime soon?
You know, we're entertaining the thought.
Okay.
It never is a scenario where we close the door.
Right.
But because it's a great business and a great event.
Right. Absolutely.
Appreciation for New Mexico.
Well, how long does it take to cook one of the briskets? Because it's so tender, you know?
Well, you know, the key thing is the wood. You gotta use hickory wood. That's Louisiana, East Texas. Okay, now you can get into different types of wood. You can get into a post oak, you can get into oak, you can get into fruit trees. We basically start with wood, and we try to target a temperature of about 200 degrees for about 18 hours.
Man, that takes some patience.
It takes patience, but you got to right execution. It's a simplicity.
Right. Well, I know that you guys don't just do retail now. You guys are branched out and you're doing a lot more catering too, right?
Tons of catering. What a blessing that was. Daddy started that years and years ago. Our first catering was possibly 50, 60 people. Now we do up to 10,000.
About 10,000?
10,000 people. We did a party in
How much meat does it take to feed 10,000 people? Is that like 7,000 pounds of pork?
You're hitting close to it.
Really?
But it's brisket.
Oh, but it's brisket.
It's brisket.
Like 6,000 pounds of brisket?
6,000 pounds of brisket. You can do probably 5,000 pounds of pulled chicken, potato salad, coleslaw, beans, and I hope I'm making somebody hungry here.
Already.
But it is a privilege that we've had the ability to develop an execution to do that volume.
Excellent.
And do it smooth and good quality.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, and your restaurant is on East Central, and it's on Central near Zuni, is that right?
We're between Eubank and Wantabo.
Eubank and Wantabo, further up east.
Further up east.
That's greast.
Yes, sir.
And then your brother Joe's place is, of course, in the valley.
And fourth in the valley, yeah.
That's
and
it.
he actually handles everything on the west side. I take care of everything on the east side. We kind of diversify.
That way your catering trucks don't bump into each other driving around town?
We've done that before, though. That's a good point.
Well, excellent. We'll be back in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew. We got a packed house today. We got our friends from the Cancer Center, I think, coming in just a couple of seconds. They're going to tell us all about the latest treatments in cancer and what UNM is researching.
That is very
It's always like this hopeful segment. They're always telling me all this awesome stuff that make me think I can live a horrible life and they'll fix me.
No, there's still hope.
Back in a couple of seconds on the Morning Brew.
All right.
C'est la vie, 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 si la vida es así. C'est la vie, 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 si la vida es así.